Yo, what's up? This is Hurricane Dave. The boss is in the building, and you are checking out hiphopwire.com. You already know that. That's what's up.
So another thing I want to ask you about regarding your job, I heard Kathy Hughes speak a lot about it. Y'all got a thing going on now where pretty much my understanding is like artists and the labels are going to be, the radio stations are going to have to start paying them. What's your take on that, and can you explain a little bit about that?
I can't comment on that, unfortunately, because that's that's a sensitive scenario. Okay. I can't.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, you can leave it in there because I'm saying I can't comment on it. That's real talk. I keep it real.
Okay.
And no one's told me that we can't talk about it. It's just one of those situations where sometimes we say that's above my pay grade, so I'll let the big bosses battle it out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that you came from Dallas and Houston,
mm-hmm.
and I'm pretty sure it was a few other markets.
Yeah.
How do you make that transition? Because Houston and Texas is the South,
mm-hmm.
and Atlanta is the South. They're nothing alike.
Right.
So how do you make that change when you go to different places, and also when you help select the music? Because
mm-hmm.
even though it's Southern music, what's bumping in Texas right now might not be bumping
Absolutely
in here. And I'm
correct.
not talking about the mainstream stuff either.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about the real stuff. Well, one of the things that I kind of pride myself on is getting connected to the community. I mean, I worked in Cleveland, and when I was in Cleveland, I would go out. I've always gone out in the streets, every city that I've ever worked in. And that's really the only way, because you can have call-out research. You know, some people are really in the call-out. We do call-out research too, but if you ain't calling the right households, you're gonna get bad research. And so what I like to do is go out into the marketplace and feel what the people like. And there have been many times when I would just go to a club and I'll just sit in the club. I might get me a drink or something like that, and I'll just be chilling. And what I do is I listen to what the DJs are playing. And there are sometimes DJs who work for me. Sometimes they work for the competition. You know, sometimes they don't work for either station. And I listen for songs that I say change the atmosphere in the room. There are certain songs that come on when the audience goes from here to hype. And when those records go from here to hype, I pull out my iPhone, type in what was that song. And if I don't know the song, I'll go to the DJ booth and I won't even say, hey man, I'm from the radio station, because it ain't about me. It's about what's taking place in the club. And I'll say, hey man, what's the name of that song? Oh, okay, who's that by? Is that local? You know, whatever. So I do some research. And if I see that happen 2 or 3 times, that artist will make it on the radio. Absolutely. And so the only way you're going to know that is if you're in Cleveland, go out to the Cleveland hotspots. If you're in Houston, go to the hotspots where people hang out. In Atlanta, a lot of the records are broken in the strip clubs. You know, people used to tell me that, oh, when you get to Atlanta, you got to go to the strip clubs. Okay, I can go to the strip clubs. It's no problem. And so I go to various clubs. I go to strip clubs. I go to regular clubs. So I go anywhere where my audience is. That's where I go. And a lot of times I'm low key. You know, and I just want to go and observe. I ain't going there, I mean, you know, to try to chase women or any of that other stuff. You know, I go there because I'm going there to work.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of markets, they don't support local
I like women though. Anyway.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. A lot of markets don't support local talent.
Mm-hmm.
But coming from Texas, and especially here, you hear more like the Travis Porter.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't no mainstream song that took
right.
off. All this little stuff is stuff that's grown.
Out of Atlanta.
What makes you, or are you that person that makes that decision, okay, we're going to get a home team a shot first?
Ultimately, yeah. I mean, when I got here, you know, it's kind of interesting. The first time that I did a music meeting when I was in Atlanta with my team, because I have a team of people that I meet with that are a lot younger than I am, maybe some of them maybe even half my age, but certainly younger than I am, that are hipper than I am, even though I think I'm, for an OG, I'm pretty hip. But I listen to their opinions on records, and the Waka Flocka is a prime example. Waka Flocka Flames. I was like, what kind of name is that? But Jay Nix actually brought that to me and said, hey man, because I asked my night guys, you know, what's hot in the streets, because they're in the streets more than I am. And he told me there's a song called Oh Let's Do It by Waka Flocka Flame, and I kind of chuckled. I said, Waka Flocka Flame? What is a Waka Flocka Flame? And they told me this dude is hot. You know, I said, okay, well, I haven't heard it. Bring it to me. And they said, well, I'll have it sent to you on MP3. They MP3'd it to me, and I couldn't stop listening to that song, because the chant, when you hear Oh Let's Do It, you know, I mean, honest to God, I played that in my office probably about 40 or 50 times, and people were in the next offices and down the hall was like, can you please play something else? I'm like, yo, that's my theme, that's that shit, I love that. And we put it on the air. and it was already bubbling. I hadn't heard it that in the clubs because it was brought to me by my night guy. But I just loved it from the minute that I heard it, and I said that's going on. And that was actually one of my first official ads in Atlanta, and I hit a home run with that grand slam.
Okay.
Yeah, love it. So stuff like that, I go out and listen, the Travis Porters and, and the Roscoe Dash. That's when I'm going to the clubs and I'm like, okay, this has changed the atmosphere. Who is that? Oh, that's Roscoe Dash. Okay, who is he signed? What's the deal? And you don't have to be signed to a label. All you have to do is be good. And if it changes the atmosphere and I witness it, it will end up on the radio station. Yo, what's up? This is Hurricane Dave. The boss is in the building, and you are checking out hiphopwire.com. You already know that. That's what's up.